Oh, rumble, young man, rumble. If y'all want to lose y'all money, y'all bet it on Sonny. He knows that I am great. He will fall in 8. Come on, you big ugly bear. I'll whip you right now. He's so ugly, the sweat rolls off the back of his head just to stay away from his face. Just like Ali, baby. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, Darren. I'm the bow tie fragrance guy. And of course, I love looking good and smelling amazing. So if you're like me and you love to look good and smell great, then you've come to the right channel. Why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And while you're at it, click on the bell icon as well. That way you get notified every time I release a new video. I asked you guys a few videos ago about doing a review on the fragrance Hacivat. I think that's pronounced correctly, Hacivat or Hacivat from the house of Nishane. And you guys said you wanted to see that review. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to take a closer look at that fragrance. So if you guys want to know my opinion and my thoughts on Hacivat from the house of Nishane, you already know the routine. Man, keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into the review of Nishane's Hacivat. First, let's take a closer look at the presentation. So this is the box that the fragrance comes in. It has some white on the front there. It says Nishane across the front. Now this cover comes off like this. You slide it right off. And then the fragrance actually rests in this box. Okay, there's a pull tab right here on the side. And when you pull it out, it actually comes with a card. The card gives you a little bit more background information on the fragrance, and I guess you can send it back in for what reason, I don't know. But it has all the notes and stuff listed on there, so I'll read those in just a second. But you guys see this beautiful kind of silky looking enclosure here? That's where your fragrance will rest when you get it. So, yeah, that's the presentation, man. That's what Nishane Hacivat, the presentation looks like. So, as I just stated, this card actually has the notes on it. So, I'll read the notes off to you. Top notes, bergamot, pineapple, and grapefruit. And the middle notes are jasmine, patchouli, cedarwood. Base notes, clear wood, oak moss, and dry timberwood. So, we took a look at the box. Here is the actual bottle. All right, now this particular bottle is a 100 ml bottle presentation. The other fragrances I have from this house are of the 50 milliliter variety, and the bottles are shaped a little bit different. They're more of a slimmer bottle. This is a lot wider bottle than the 50 ml bottles, but again, looks the same to some degree, but it's a little bit different presentation on the 100 ml bottles. You can see that it has a nice gold top. And the actual bottle is white, and it says Hacivat by Nishane right there. Now, this concentration is an extrait de parfum. And I'm going to get into that in just a moment. First thing I want to do is get a quick spray. All right. There. Now, so the first thing I want to say about this fragrance is this. Again, it's an extrait de parfum. So, for those of you that may not be as familiar with the different concentrations of fragrances, this is a highly concentrated fragrance as far as the oil-based content in this fragrance. So what that means is it should last longer than a parfum or an eau de parfum. This is the next level up in extrait de parfum. So if you can see there, my hand is glistening right there under the lights right there. So the first thing that I was extremely impressed by, and I kept going crazy to my wife, like, God, look at this, look. And she was like, all right, whatever. But I could still see the oil residue on my hand from spraying this fragrance after an hour and a half. So I was an hour and a half in to wearing this fragrance, and I could still see the oil residue on my hand just as good almost as I can see it right now. So to me, that was extremely impressive. That speaks to the quality of the fragrance itself. Now, as far as what this fragrance smells like, You know, of course, the big thing about it that got a lot of hype and attention when it first came out was the fact that for most people it smelled like Creed Aventus. And I myself, of course, I'm gonna have to agree with that, but not entirely. I did a video a few weeks ago about some other fragrances that I definitely know was inspired by Creed Aventus, but they were fragrances that warranted a purchase because they were different enough that it wouldn't be redundant to have that particular fragrance as well as Creed Aventus in your collection. And if I had this fragrance at the time, this fragrance would have been included in that number as well, because where it resembles Aventus is definitely not a full-on clone of Creed Aventus. So you do get the pineapple, of course, that you pick up with Creed Aventus. And for the most part, when people compare a fragrance to Aventus, they talk about the pineapple, but also the dry birch or the smoky accord that you get from Aventus. Now, this one doesn't really have that smoky accord, and that's where these fragrances to me really go in a different direction. The main player in the opening, of course, is the pineapple. The bergamot and the grapefruit are very, very fleeting notes. You know, kind of helps to give it that freshness and that kind of zesty vibe in the beginning. But really it's about, for me, the pineapple. So after about the first 10 minutes, the bergamot and the grapefruit kind of start to subside. Again, it helps to keep it fresh in the opening, but it kind of go to the background. And then we have for me, really the jasmine starts to come into play. Now, the jasmine plays a major role in this fragrance because to me, it helps to keep the fragrance kind of fresh. You know, it works in combination with the pineapple to kind of help keep this fragrance fresh and not go too green, earthy too soon. And I really, really like that in this fragrance. The fragrance starts to dry down. Of course, you get a very, very strong woody vibe. But to me, the dominant notes in this are the patchouli and the oak moss. Whereas Aventus goes in that kind of woody, slightly vanillic, and Broxton musky kind of dry down. This goes extremely earthy patchouli and green vibes that you get, almost like a foresty type vibe that you get from the oak moss. Very green undertones with this fragrance that you get from the oak moss. So it's very different from Aventus on the Drydown. If you don't like fragrances where you get that very, very earthy, rooty type of patchouli vibe, this may not be the pick for some people because, again, that's very, very prominent note as this fragrance starts to dry down. And again, so that's where to me it really differentiates itself from the king of fragrances, Aventus. Now, as far as overall performance on this fragrance, when I tell you this fragrance performs all day, I'm not kidding. This thing performs all day. You literally have to wash this stuff off. And if you love the fragrance, that's not a bad thing. Now, I myself fall into the category of folks that love the fragrance, which it seems to be kind of the majority of folks that put their nose on it really like it. But man, this stuff lasts all day long on my skin. Quick story. One of the first times I wore this fragrance when we were first getting back out into being able to do shopping and things of that nature. I went to TJ Maxx doing some shopping and I had this on. And I had a mask on, and when I went to pay for my stuff, the cashier had a mask on as well. And there was also one of those big, of course, that you can see it now, those plastic barriers. She had a mask on and the barrier. And I was wearing this, and she said, "Oh my God, what are you wearing?" I said, "You can smell my fragrance through the mask and the barrier." And she was like, "Yes, I can smell it. It smells great. What is that?" And I told her what I was wearing. And that wasn't the only compliment I got that day. I got several compliments the first time I wore this. So, as far as that goes, it performs great. And just like Aventus, people seem to really like the way this smells. It's been getting me some great compliments. So it performs great, and it's a great compliment getting fragrance so far that I've experienced on my skin. Now, this fragrance comes in two sizes. You can get a 50 ml bottle for $240, and you can get this 100 ml bottle that I have for $380. Now, I was fortunate enough to get this through a swap group. I still paid a nice price for it, but it wasn't a full $380 retail. But so I feel like if you can pick this up, what you can now for a little bit of a discounted price, it's definitely worth taking a look at because you're definitely gonna get your money's worth on the performance factor. And if you like Aventus, and again, you can kind of see yourself liking Aventus that may go a little bit more of an earthy, woody, patchouli, oak moss kind of dry down, you're probably going to love this one as well. So for me, this one really checks all of the boxes, man. It smells great. It's not a clone of Aventus. It definitely gives you a different vibe. And of course, it really checks all the boxes for the compliment factor as well. It's a highly complimented fragrance, man. So really solid release to me. Overall, if I had to give this a scale of 1 out of 10, I'm gonna give this a solid 9.5, because for me, what I look for in a fragrance, this one definitely checks all of the boxes. All right, guys, that's my time. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my review on Nishane Hacivat. Don't forget to take the time to like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your main man, Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.